and running. And to break it all down, we've got to bring in Kendrick Perkins. What's up, Perk? Let's start in Orlando, where Cole Anthony made the most of this opportunity and showed out for the Magic. What impressed you most about his performance?
Well, this is the prime example of staying ready so you don't have to get ready. That's number one. Number two, I just love the passion that he plays with, right? And it's an all-in type passion. Yes, he came in and he had 26 points tonight, doing it in all phases, from shooting the tray ball, attacking downhill, but being the playmaker off the pick and roll. But it was the tenacity that he brought off the bench. And on the night where you didn't get a 25 or 30-point night from Paolo Banchero, I thought he was the deciding factor. He came up huge. And you look at those 6 assists, that's the growth of a young player. Being able to go out there and get yours and still make guys around you better. And that's what I saw tonight out of the Orlando Magic and Cole Anthony.
Yeah, and we learned it's his dad that keeps him grounded. That's the definition of sometimes it just be your own people. But, hey, sometimes you need that humility. All right, to the West and the Warriors, they are used to 30-point performances in big games from Steph Curry, but they traded for Jimmy Butler for moments like these, and he delivered. 38 points to be exact. How dangerous are the Warriors with this duo?
The Warriors are very dangerous. And, yes, Jimmy Butler has given life to Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors. And, again, a much-needed win so that they could get rest. We know what Jimmy Butler brings to the table offensively. I thought he did a great job tonight. First, second, third quarter, when Steph really didn't have it going, getting it going, making sure the team staying engaged, staying aggressive, and then all of a sudden he let Steph take it home in the fourth. But I will say this. I got the Warriors, right, as the second best team in the Western Conference, and they're facing this young Houston Rockets team. They better strap their damn boots up because Ime Udoka, who I voted for as Coach of the Year, he got those young boys ready. Defensively, they're athletic as hell, and I'm praying that Steve Kerr put his pride aside and go to the young fella, Jonathan Kuminga, because I believe the Warriors are going to need his athleticism in this series against the Houston Rockets. This series is going 6 or 7 games. I haven't decided just yet. I got Golden State winning, but the Rockets are ready, and they're ready for war.
Well, it's a good thing they get a little bit of rest before that, but you're spot on there, Perk. Meanwhile, Memphis put up a fight despite the injury to Ja Morant. Now the Grizzlies have to lick their wounds before facing the winner of the Mavericks and Kings. If Morant isn't 100%, how will Memphis pick up the slack, Perk?
Who's they all-star, MJ? It's Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, it's time for him to elevate his game. I can't tell you how many times I was yelling at the screen tonight for him to be aggressive, for him to play with more force, right? We know he's skilled. We know he can shoot the tray ball, but I want to see him go to the low block. I want to see him punish people more down there. And not knowing how Ja Morant is going to be, we know he's not going to be 100%. Jaren Jackson Jr. has to elevate his game on both ends of the floor because he did just win Defensive Player of the Year a couple seasons ago, and he got to stop picking up those silly fouls. It is so frustrating. But they're going to need him now more than ever to elevate his game to help the Grizzlies get to the postseason.
All right, hang tight, Perk. We've got 2 more games to talk about on Wednesday's schedule. We'll see you a little bit later on SportsCenter.
All right, thank you.
Damn that, man. I heard that Raiders shot. You know I'm the president of the Raider Nation. Always remember that, okay? All right, now getting to this game, we knew what was going to happen. It was close, but we know, Steph is, the man, and proved it once again, hitting big shots, big moments, Warriors advance. We knew what was going to happen.
I thought the game would have been a lot. You know what? It'd have been interesting to see Cube or Ocho had Ja not tweaked that ankle.
Yeah.
He goes up for the shot. He comes down on the guy's ankle, and he came back in the game late, but he wasn't Ja. Desmond Bane was unbelievable. He kept him close, big threes, stealing the ball, doing a lot of good things. Triple J played an outstanding game. But I just thought if Ja had stayed in there, it would have been interesting to see. We never know. Who knows? Maybe Steph goes crazy and he goes, instead of 37, 38, he goes for 50.
Right.
But it was a good game. It's what we expected to be. This is the first time the Warriors have actually got out of the play-in. They had been 0-3, so now they're 1-4 in the play-in tournament. Ocho, what'd you like about what you saw?
Listen, I enjoyed the game to its fullest. I probably thought that the Warriors were going to come out and be victorious in the win. Obviously, playoff Jimmy, as he's known to be called, showed up.
Play-in Jimmy.
Okay, you're right. Play in Jimmy. Listen, he had 21 at the half. He came up and he showed out. Steph Curry did what he did, ending the game with 37. But I think the game might have been different, even though it was close. But if we got a jaw that wasn't injured and didn't mess up his ankle towards the end of the game, Desmond Bane did what he did to keep him close. But obviously, Steph Curry coming in clutch towards the end of the game, and it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is the Warriors' time of year. We know what they're capable of doing. It's amazing to me that they haven't gotten out of the play-in cube, considering all that championship game pedigree, all the time they've been in NBA finals, they've been in Western Conference finals, they've had tough fall ball games, but for whatever reason, it's hard for them to get out of the play-in. If I'm not mistaken, I think they lost to the Lakers, lost to the Grizz, but they haven't been what we thought they would be, especially in the play-in. So now they get an opportunity to advance. They're the number 7 seed. They take on the Houston Rockets, the second best record in the Western Conference. But this is a young team that's not really battle tested. Q, how do you see this matchup shaping out between the Rockets and the Warriors?
Well, the Warriors got that pedigree. They know what it takes. Even the Rockets are scrappy. They defense. They all over the court. You know what I mean? They running, they gunning, dunking, they shooting, they kind of doing it all. But they all a different animal. You playing the same team over and over again. They get a chance to lock in on you. You get a chance to lock in on them. And in basketball, by the third game, all the moves they got. They know all the moves you got, and it's just a will to win. And so the Warriors are battle tested. They got that will to win. Even though I like the Rockets' young, scrappy team, I just think the Warriors got everything it takes with Draymond and Jimmy is hungry as ever. So I expect the Warriors to come out of that.
Well, you mentioned you're the what'd you say, the Godfather,
president of the Raider Nation, man.
Okay, you're president of the Raider Nation. So what are you with the Lakers? Are you the Godfather of the Lakers? What are you for the Lakers?
Oh man, the Lakers. I haven't put a name on it. It's something greater than love with the Lakers.
Make you the mayor of Lakerville.
But I've been a big fan, man, since I was knee high to a horsefly, and so it's just really all about seeing them jail. Do they have enough time to jail to go all the way? We'll see. They got a nice squad. I like the size of all the role players. They all damn near the same size with the same athletic ability. And so it's pretty cool to see them, teamed up with LeBron, Luka, and AR-15.
Cube, let me ask you this. Where were you when you heard the news the Lakers were trading Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic? And did you believe it when you heard it?
I didn't believe it. I was at the house, and I was I know my son, he had a podcast he had to do, and he was just like freaking out on the podcast because he was reading the news at the same time, and so it was hard to believe that was true. But the Lakers always pull the rabbits out they hat. I'm like, I felt the same way when they got Shaq. I felt the same way when they got
LeBron.
It was like, man, how do the Lakers pull this off?
Yeah.
Great front office. I never count them out, no matter how the team looked from year to year. I never count that front office out. Even bringing AD in was amazing to me.
Gave up a lot to get him, but it worked out. You got a championship out of the deal.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Cube, you're the co-founder of the Big Three. Last year was your most viewed season. How do you take it to the next level? And it's being reported that Dwight Howard said, my last year playing professional basketball, I'm going to play it in the Big Three.
There we go. You know, star power. You know, the same thing, you know, that you guys got here, star power. So that's what we're bringing in the league. That's what people want to see. But also the style of play. You know, I think people love the Big Three because, you know, there's still a place for the big man. You know, we still play defense. You know, we let them trash talk. We let players be themselves, not penalize personality. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think people, you know, love that. Fans want that. That's what's missing in some ways in the other professional league. And so for him to come in and do his, you know, last, you know, go around the country in the Big Three, it's going to be a fun summer. But, you know, we also got other players that's great too. So, you know, now we're in cities. Now, you know, we got a team in LA, a team in Dallas, a team in Houston, Chicago, Detroit, Boston, and the DMV and Miami. So it's going to be interesting to unlock those fan bases and start to grow the Big Three from that model.
What made you decide to come up with the Big Three? You sitting around, I mean, look, you're busy. You're in Hollywood, you're back to doing music, and I think now, Q, you back more into music now than you've ever been. Maybe you've taken a break from the acting thing, from writing. I know you got this, we're gonna get this a little later, but the Friday, the last installment of Friday,
Oh, yeah.
you're probably sitting down writing that, you, DJ Pooh. But in this situation, what made you decide to come up with the Big Three?
I'm a fan. And, you know, after the finals, the NBA finals, man, I would hibernate until football season started. You know? Like, I mean, seriously, for people who love basketball and love football, those dog days of summer just got, you know, it was just brutal. And so I knew there was a lot of fans out there like me who wanted something, a real season. Could we fit a real season into that window between the NBA finals and the start of the regular season in football? And so, you know, there was a great window. And 3-on-3 was sitting there kind of dormant. You know, it's kind of the little cousin of 5-on-5. And so
Yeah.
I said, you know, why haven't it been professionalized? And there was no good reasons. I looked at what FIBA was doing, and I said, hey, we could do better than that to professionalize the sport. And we came up with great wrinkles like the 4-point circles and bring the fire and, you know, first to 50 win, no game clock, but the shot clock. So the games are fast, they fun, and it's what basketball should be. And so, you know, we put all the great ingredients into it, and it was a great idea. And we had the connections and the people to make it come true. And Hall of Famers had blessed us. George Gervin, Dr. J, Clyde Drexler, Rick Barry. You know, these guys blessed the league and said it's something they want to be a part of. And so I knew